Greetings and welcome, fellow sentients, to another Let's Play series. Welcome, Let's Play The Last Federation. Right, something new, I guess. The Last Federation game. I'm just thinking about how to describe it properly, but I'm not sure I know how exactly. I mean, Arcen games, Arcen games. The developer is probably more well known for their series on the AI war, which I have also looked at, but pretty much came to the conclusion that that is way too complex for me to learn in any particular reasonable amount of time, and also make entertaining while I'm doing it, since you need to pay attention to so much. Because as I understand it, Arcen Games really likes their spreadsheet style stuff. Lots of moving parts, lots of things to keep track of. Very in depth on a lot of things, which makes things sort of fun, but also really complex. Luckily for this game, that is somewhat manageable. There is still a lot of stuff they throw at you, but most of it is manageable. Anyway, let's just get down to what the Last Federation is. You are essentially trying to unite the various different species that are living in the same solar system, I guess, into a federation to prevent them from wiping each other out. Because at the start of the game, that's very much likely to happen. Now, I'm not going to claim that I'm an expert at this game, because as you can clearly see, I've only won once. I've also only played twice, apparently, according to this, which is not entirely inaccurate. Because, yeah, I wanted to spend way more time with this game than I did, but ultimately ended up not being able to, because, well, other things were distracting me. This game requires you to pay attention to a lot of things, and also it'll become more clear when you're going about things as it is. Can't really get into how things work exactly, because the introduction will do that for me. I also have all the DLCs, but we will be playing the standard campaign as this. Portrayed Hope, I believe, adds a couple of additional campaigns in where you can actually take vengeance upon the other races rather than unite them into a federation. You can just wipe them out and re-establish your own species. And Lost Technologies basically just gives you new stuff to research, or more stuff to research. There's also another scenario where you can actually use your federation to defend against an external threat, which is essentially what you're trying to do with a base game. But anyway, let's just get to an advanced start. Okay, don't tell me this again. So we'll just be starting with normal strategic difficulty, normal combat difficulty. We will set this to random because, while I don't mind that you standardly get dropped on the Accusation world, kind of want to see what it's like if I start with something else. We'll do the standard game with the Federation formation. But like I said, you can have the betrayal, the invasion, or a tech race. But we will just be going with the standard, starting near 0, and none of this will be disabled or turned on. Definitely not permadeath, because I'm nowhere near good enough. Let's begin. I am the last of the murdered race of Hydrals. We took to the stars and shut down the manned launches of everyone else. My countrymen were dictators of the solar system, but we kind of had it coming. Yet it is me above, and you are me. This is our story. I was the sole survivor of a surprise attack by 2 other races thanks to the renegade mission I undertook, betraying the other Hydrals to bring spacefaring technology to our potential rivals. Turns out, when you strap rockets to a moon, you can catch even the dictators off guard. Alright? My ultimate goal, the creation of a peaceful, united federation of planets. Only then can we be safe from the kinds of atrocities my race committed, and the kinds that were committed against us. Naturally, upon my crash landing on this planet, I was placed in captivity. Having no concept of my strength, they did not realize that I was merely waiting. I waited for years. Stardate the first one, Proto 3000. My dream of a universal federation is as alive as ever. And now the Peltians have finally gotten themselves into orbit. Alright, so that's where we start, the Peltians. After spending so much time with me as a peaceful captive, they were ill-prepared for my escape. I have commandeered the first prototype solar fortress, and now the Peltians are in hot pursuit. These pathetic furry communists pose no long-term threat. The space industry may be stumbling into a start now, but they will have trouble maintaining momentum. They will hate me for stealing their handiwork, but there are bigger threats in the solar system. Here they come. I would class this force so severely that it will be almost impossible to lose. Now is a good time to put my ship through its paces. I still have to be careful. If they manage to take out my ship, I will be just as dead now as later. Alright, welcome to combat. Alright, so just basically I pick a direction in which I want the ship to move. And I can pick a weapon with which to attack. Now, we've got a couple of ships coming in. Only one of them is shielded, so I'm guessing the minigun will be fine. How do I set the course correction again like that? And let's just try to get out of dodge here. See if we can pick up some rescues. No, let's just keep with the machine guns for now. Alright, so we need to destroy all the flagships or dock with the survey platform. I think destroying the ships is more fun. That's why our shields are getting hit, but that's not really a concern. Holding shift to bend my route. And we'll just stick with this. So their hull is resisting my minigun. Let's bend away, switch to the mass driver. There, that's much better. Now, we have 2 more ships to take out. Try not to get too bogged down. Back to the minigun, go. And try to not fly straight into bullets. Yeah. My minigun is still the best option here. Alright, flagship power management is unlocked. I swear this is the last time I interrupt you during this battle. I hope so. I mean, I don't mind the tutorial because I do need a refresher, but still. It's kind of obnoxious the first time. To give you direct control over power distribution in your 3 subsystem. Increasing power to weapons gives you higher damage output as well as longer range. Increasing power to shields gives you faster shield regen and makes your shields more resistant to shots that hit them. Increasing power to your engines gives you faster movement, better turning arcs, and at further distance you can move per turn. Makes sense. Set your power levels, just click the various bars to use the hotkeys. There are instructions in the tooltips, however, during each turn your ship automatically changes power based on context. Let's suppose you don't issue a movement order. Well, it diverts engine power to weapons and shields instead. Now attacking, diverts to shields, etc. This keeps you from needing to fiddle with it for minor adjustments, which very grateful. Automatic management doesn't make manual management pointless. Consider, I'm low on health, so I'm gonna crank up my shield for a while at the expense of... I need to be able to maneuver very carefully here, so I'm willing to sacrifice. I'm so OP here, let's just get this over quick. Nothing to the shields, all to weapons, let's go. And so on. These sorts of larger decisions are the point of the power system, not moment-to-moment fiddling. So what was that about better tuning arcs with different internal power levels? Well, you see above. At the default levels, which is all you've had till now, you can move pretty well, but you can move super precisely if you crank it all the way up. You can barely move or turn if you want to crank it all the way down. Hey, how the heck do you do that curly Q? Waypoints, simply hold down the shift key while issuing movement orders, as I have been doing. You lose a little bit of speed with each curved waypoint, so your total distance goes down a bit for your information. Are you feeling a little overwhelmed with all this info? Sorry about that. But you do not have to memorize it. You can review it at any time reviewing the logbook. Alright, let's just finish this battle. Alright, it still has shields. But it's almost depleted, so... just keep circling it. Enemy shields are down, yeah. Alright, so it's now the mass driver again. Alright, let's just turn around. And the combat is over. Alright, so the Peltians lost some power, and one armada in the fighting and all that. 75 hostile ships participated. We got a little bit of hull damage, and the Peltians like us a little bit less. Sweet mother of spaceship, it's the solar map. Right, so I'm going to introduce you to this gradually. For now, a lot of stuff is hidden. Don't worry about trying to create a federation yet. We'll get to that later. Not even an option yet. Right now, you need to worry about gaining credit to spend. You also need to accumulate a goodly amount of influence with a few races. A humble suggestion is you start by delivering spacefaring tech to the Galaxians, Andors and or Peltians. Well, yeah, they already have it, but then the game kind of assumes you do it with the Aculans. And then run some dispatch missions for them to gain more credit. Your current focus should be on making yourself more powerful and influential. And as you complete missions and political deals, I'll open up more and more ways for you to do that, culminating in the options for trying to form a fledgling federation. So we are currently here, and have a look at the planet details, but right now I don't know all that much. Basically, I know they don't like me because I stole stuff from them. They know about the other aliens, but don't really care much about them. Alright, so this is our former planet, currently controlled by the Peltians. It's not really doing anything for them though. They need to build some space stations for that. You can see that they have some ships floating about, and they've got one armada by the looks of things. Alright, so we can see from the other races that they will reach spacefaring technology in, well, in game terms, somewhere between an hour and 10 seconds. So the Thoraxians we don't have to help. That's fine. I kind of need to find the counterbalance to the Peltians for now. What are the evocs again? I don't know anything about the evocs. Thoraxians, I don't think I can do much with Thoraxians. Could go to the Acutians. They probably need the most help. Let's give them something. So let's do the friendly act. Feeling friendly, that's the spirit. We're gonna form a solar federation. You're going to have to make some friends. Credit. Credit is a super important concept. This is your social currency, so to speak. Doing things for races they appreciate, or in some cases doing things that intimidate a race, gain you more credit. You can then spend credit with almost any race to get them to do what you want, or with mercenaries. Credit is basically money, but it's a little more nuanced than that. But be warned, sometimes there are no friendly actions you can take with a race. Either you don't have anything to offer them, or they simply hate you too much to even accept the needed help. This is one of the many reasons that your influence with races is so important. Depending on the actions you take, your influence with the race goes up and down. High influence makes them more likely to cooperate. Low influence makes them more likely to try to kill you. Alright, so I want to deliver spacefaring tech. Peltians will not like it if they catch me. Let's try to not do that. I kind of want the Acutians to like me. We'll gain a lot of credits. Our current credit is not that much. Okay. So stuff just got real, maybe. This is either going to be incredibly easy or impossibly hard, depending on how many races are already spacefaring. Just be careful of alerting those spy probes, and make your way to the drop zone, and that's it. Spy probes for each race all have unique sensor test bullet patterns that they fire when any foreign object, such as yourself, is detected nearby. If you get hit by any of those shots, or if you fire on the space probes yourself, the probe involved will be alerted and you will take a penalty to influence with that race for each probe you alert. The goal is to maneuver it cleverly so that you get past the probes without any of them sensing you, or at the very least with as few as possible sensing you. Early on, when only a couple of races are spacefaring, you may be able to waltz over to a drop zone in a couple of easy turns. If that's the case, more power to you. Each one of these gets harder as you go, so enjoy the ease while it lasts. Note that once you alert a spy probe, it turns hostile, speeds up and starts unleashing much more damaging attacks. Fight those probes away from the main body of the unalerted probe as you can, so that stray shots of yours don't wake anyone else up. Alright, so we want to go here. Let's get all the power to the engines. And let's just go and hold fire. Alright, how do we get around it? Let's go this way. I think that should do it. Let's go a little bit more bendy. Alright, that's not gonna work like that. Let's try this. Yay! Got away.
The Acutian capitalists are now spacefaring. Extreme caution is advised. These are the same beings that destroyed your homeworld.
Well, technically they would be. Let's actually get that voice down a little bit. That was a bit too much. That should be enough. Alright, so they're now spacefaring. Got a couple of fleets. They are about to go spacefaring as well. The executions are not doing too good. But we'll see about more of that in a moment. Alright, that'll do for this episode. Thank you all for watching. See you all next time.